Whether you're a Cardano bull or bear, it doesn't really matter. One thing is true, the ADA price action on the charts right now couldn't be any more crucial. In this video, I'm going to break down those charts and we're going to have a healthy perspective of the Cardano price action and what to prepare for in its next move. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. Let's jump into it. Let's start here. Let's preface this video here. I don't know exactly what will happen next, but ADA has shown amazing stamina throughout this dip. Look at this daily chart. I continue to think that Cardano is the most bullish crypto in all of crypto land. It's how long has that been the story? I've just been so bullish on Cardano. And if you look at just a chart on the weekly, I think it's, goes without saying, why that is and how it played out. And now we still have September smart contracts. And the story between smart contracts and what happens in between now and then, that's up in the air. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's going to happen. All I can tell you is my opinion. It's 100% my humble opinion. I'm very bullish on Cardano. And there's a lot of bear market talk. Maybe we all enter a bear market. Maybe Cardano comes all the way down, 50-week moving average here. We break that. Things are just bleak, fearful. I'll still be doing videos and I'll still be tracking this with you. Many people will be buying and accumulating Cardano. If all of that is happening going into smart contracts, I don't know what's going to happen. But what I can say is the long-term picture, the macro view of Cardano is bullish to me, and I'm here long-term. And so if you're kind of a short-term person, this channel might not be for you, but I encourage you, think bigger. Let's start here. ADA BTC. Are you serious? I keep tweeting about this because the chart has looked so strong on the daily ADA BTC pair. And we're going all the way back here. To January. Just look at this uptrend from January to where we are now. I think it's like 800% or something from that swing low in January. Let's see, around 825%. And Cardano, even in this recent dip, look at Cardano holding strong against Bitcoin. And I don't mean to offer hopium. I don't mean to get everybody overly bullish on Cardano. There's a lot of unknown on these short-term charts we're about to look into, but this is a good sign. And even so, if Cardano were to dip and crypto markets crash and Cardano loses its power against Bitcoin, and we're dipping to the 50-day moving average down here, Cardano still has so much cushion to do something like that, right? A dip like this, a lot of cushion for Cardano right now against the BTC pair. And that is an extremely, extremely important thing if you're long on Cardano to keep in mind as we continue tracking Cardano. But right now, Cardano 20-day moving average well above that area and just has been consolidating kind of sideways against the ADA BTC pair or against BTC in this dip that's happening. And this is what the dip looks like on the weekly chart, just to give you an idea. It's been just, this is weekly, so it's been around a month since we hit that $2.50 area. And it's been a volatile month, an unknown month. And we've tracked it, I think, very well. And now we're getting to that crucial area that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. We are at the apex of a symmetrical triangle that we've really been tracking for a good portion of the month. And I want to break down this entire move, especially if you haven't seen my recent technical analysis on this as we've tracked this calmly, not emotionally. So I want to start here. This is a clip from actually May 31st. Check this out really quick. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Cardano makes its way up, even maybe to the 618 here at $1.90. And then we're pulling back down and maybe people are freaking out and we're sitting in the $60s. Okay, so this happened, right? And this was May 31st. And we were at $1.77. If we go look at the chart, how it played out almost textbook, right? Perfectly. And let me get my brush. So we broke out, I'm doing the video around $1.77, probably right here. We wicked up right to around $1.90. It's like $1.89. And that was the lower end of the Fibonacci resistance. This was the huge Fibonacci resistance from the all-time high to the capitulation back up. We saw resistance. We got the throwback to the apex. And this is where we are right now. And so this support area, and I'm not going to show a clip from this video. This is from the same video. The next thing I talked about was the support area down in this area. And this is what we see in this rectangle right at the apex. And that support, if you've been watching my most recent videos, because we've been continually tracking it, it's that last swing low back here to that swing high, rejection at that Fibonacci resistance, $1.89. And it's this Fibonacci support. And this is what we just talked about. We've been talking about it. Remember, the 618 around $1.54 to the 786 at $1.44. What happened just basically in the last day? We dropped into it. We wicked below it. We got a 6-hour close within it. We broke out of it. And now we're just interacting right now with this entire resistance area. And it's confluent with the apex of this entire symmetrical triangle. And it really is this simple. You know, we can look at symmetrical triangle stats. You know, 62% of the time we get throwbacks. And this is the throwback. It happened. That's what the data said. There's always a good possibility it happens 62% of the time. We see it happen. We track it happening. We say it could potentially happen before it does, and it does. How often does that happen? And it has nothing to do with me, everybody. It's just me anticipating data playing out how it often does. But now if we look at these rules, remember, upward 60% of the time. Now, we're getting upward breakouts 60% of the time in symmetrical triangles in bull markets, and that's what this is. But 60% of the time isn't a guarantee. And that's why I never sit here overly confident, overly bullish just because we have a symmetrical triangle. That's why even in that video we just saw a clip of, we're breaking the symmetrical triangle. I wasn't telling everybody to go long. This is it, everybody. We're going to hit our target up here, you know, above $3. I wasn't saying that. I was actually talking about resistance and getting thrown back into the apex area. And that's what happened. And that's because 60% breakout to the upside success isn't nowhere near a guarantee. It's almost 50-50. And that's why we always have to be prepared for all of these scenarios that we see on the screen. And, you know, right now we're at the apex. And this apex doesn't last much longer, right? Maybe 3 to 4 days and the apex is done. We're at critical support. And so you really need to be prepared for both scenarios, whether it's the $3 range, breakout to the upside. If all of a sudden cryptos turn back on, the bulls step in and we're cruising to the upside, we could be approaching $2 very fast. But at the same time, we could also be breaking to the downside. This entire support structure at the apex can fail. We can be cruising to the downside towards the 70 to 80 cent area targets for Cardano. And, you know, this tweet, I said, I don't know exactly what will happen next. And maybe I don't say it enough because my duty here, my job here isn't to tell you what's going to happen. You know, I don't even tell myself what's going to happen, everybody. I really don't. I track these markets with data. I track structure. I wait for confirmations, meaning if we get a breakout to the upside and we start breaking these previous lower highs, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I start getting more bullish, you know? But right now we haven't had that confirmation. We've got bearish confirmation by getting rejected here. We fell back into the apex. Now we're getting short-term bullish confirmation, right? But nothing is set in stone yet. And so we have to continue tracking on the short term. And that's one of the problems with zoomed in charts. It's so fast moving every day in this crazy volatile emotional market. The zoomed out weekly chart, very easy. I opened with my thoughts in general. I'm just bullish. I'm bullish on Cardano. It's very easy to say that on this weekly chart, even keeping in mind in an environment where Cardano is actually breaking this triangle and hitting its target on the weekly, Cardano could be approaching this 50-week moving average. And I'm sitting here saying I'm still bullish. And that's simply because I'm here long term. And I've been in huge dips like that. And it won't be fun, you know. I'll probably complain to my wife, this is like terrible. This is boring doing videos and downtrends. But at the same time, I'm bullish and it will provide a lot of opportunity if it happened. But going back now to the hourly, because this is where we are, it gets messy again, right? It's not as easy to make up our minds, bullish or bearish. And that's why we wait for these short-term moves. And that's why we wait for confirmation. So here's our support that we're at right now. Cardano just saw it. Look, you can even see how this hourly candle wicked. And we actually even closed the hourly candle within support. And here's what the support structure looks like on the 6-hour. So that $1.44 area held. But now we have this very, very short-term support area. And this is really going into tonight. I'm doing this video for like the next hours. I mean, going into the next 12 hours. We have a support now, the swing low that we just saw to that swing high. And we have this support area, right down here. And let me get rid of this other so we can see this a little bit better. The support area is a 618 on this very short term, $1.47 to the 786, $1.44. Now notice that entire area, it's a $1.44 area once again as support outside of the apex. Because right now you can see Cardano in the apex of the symmetrical triangle. Will it come back down and fall out of the apex again, having to bounce off support back through the apex? This is a big move for Cardano, and it couldn't, things could not be any more dicey for Cardano right now in this area. So it's kind of what I'm tracking. What's interesting, if you zoom out on the hourly chart, we get these fearful environments, and I don't know if it's going to play out the same way again, but we've gotten these fearful environments many times, and we keep getting these bounces to the upside and people's emotions getting played with. Remember, inverse head and shoulders back here that we were tracking, and it's kind of that story of the inverse head and shoulders over and over again. And even as we zoom in on this hourly chart, it kind of looks like that. Inverse head and shoulders, right? With right now a right shoulder potentially forming. And are we going to get a bullish breakout out of the apex and back through to the upside so we can start talking about potential bullish reversal? Listen, this is like the most volatile of volatile markets, and the charts are not easy to chart. They're really not. A lot of people say the technical analysis doesn't work, but it does work, because even in this video alone, talking about this exact move, the throwback to the apex, it happened, and all of you were prepared. Hopefully, if you saw that video, I was prepared, and none of us got emotional. There's no room for emotions in these markets. So same thing is true on the 6 hour and even on the zoomed in hourly. We wait. If we cruise back down to support, what happens down there? $1.44 to $1.47. That's in the very short term. Let's see. Let's track it. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, I'm not waking up tomorrow and we're just breaking through into the $1.30s and I'm having to do an update video. That support has failed, but just be prepared, because it's 100% in play as we test the apex of the symmetrical triangle. This is my update, everybody. I appreciate you. I really do. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.